Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm Malicious Female Fan Steve Alicious here, and certainly not the conversation I'd want to be having today about BlackBerry. We'd all like to be sitting here talking about an announcement or perhaps even a release for the BlackBerry 5G. And while I could sit here and still be fairly confident before all the questions, before all the comments start, yes, I do believe they're still in business. Yes, I do believe that there is a phone coming out at some point. But at the same time, while I could believe all of those things, I could start to worry about other things. And that is this. Look at the calendar. We're at November now. And unless there's an announcement tomorrow, which I'm not exactly holding my breath for, maybe, you never know. But if there's not an announcement in the next couple of weeks with a release date set shortly after, now we're pushing into 2022, January 2022. And what are we getting? Second half, midway through January, second half of January next year. You're getting the S22 Ultra, okay? That's going to have your Snapdragon 895 or some sort of Exynos equivalent. You're going to have Xiaomi coming out with their Snapdragon 895 variant. So we're going to be starting the next cycle of flagships. And that's not going to include, at least I don't think, whatever BlackBerry's going to release. They might not care. They might think that their strategy with government and corporations is enough to carry them through, and they're not worried about the consumer. But I am, since I'm a consumer. And I think a lot of you out there are as well. You're not so concerned about what they do for a big business and government buyers. You're worried about what they're going to do for us, the longing BlackBerry fan who's been waiting forever for a new quality device. Here's what I think is going to be a problem. Unless they just completely scrap it, and say, you know what? Everything's gone against us. We're going to wait until next year. We'll see you next summer. We still got something exciting. It's going to run on next year's flagship stuff. I don't think that's going to happen. I think you're going to have a situation like the Surface Duo, the first one, where they got caught up a little bit. They had to change design a couple times. They had to change the operating system it was going to run on. By the time it came out, it was a year delayed, and it was a day late and a dollar short. It was running the year before's flagship processor. It was running RAM that was an outdated number, but they were still charging flagship prices. And I get kind of how the BlackBerry device may get caught up in that, because they may almost be able to justify it to themselves and say, well, hold on now. I understand that we're going to be on last year's stuff, but we're still providing a quality premium device, and yes, there's a keyboard and all the rest of it. I just want to hold on now. That's not going to be enough to carry you through. Don't give us another device that you're selling at a premium just because it has a nice build and a keyboard. There's a lot more to it for us to be happy. We've had makers before, TCL, where they just slap a keyboard on the device and say, here you go. Here it is. Aluminum body, look, it's got a little grippy bit on the back and it's got a keyboard. Buy it, it's a BlackBerry, you'll love it. Well, I didn't. A lot of people did, but I think it's because you were starving in the desert. And that was the oasis off in the distance. Give us a quality device. And while Microsoft could take a hit like that, a poor selling phone, because I got $1 quadrillion out there in Washington, real figures, and keep on trucking, come out with a Surface Duo 2 because they could take a hit like that and keep moving, a new company with a fresh license, not going to have that luxury. At least I don't think. So while I understand that it's the universe that put Onward Mobility behind the 8-ball here, understand this as well. The universe isn't going to care once you release the device. If you come out with something that's running a Snapdragon 888, maybe it's got 12 gigs of RAM. Maybe they up it to 12 gigs of RAM. I think probably 8. An okay camera that's going to be better than probably what we've had on BlackBerry devices previously, but still it's going to be very difficult to get to just because of they haven't been doing it that long. It's going to be tough with software to get to the level of Apple, Samsung, and of course, the Google Pixel. First time out, you're going to tell me they're going to nail a flagship camera and have the computational photography and all the rest that goes with it. And security is nice. Don't get me wrong. The keyboard is nice. Don't get me wrong. But what is the price and the premium you're willing to put on a BlackBerry badge on a phone that's running last year's specs? And that's where it starts to concern me. And it's not their fault. I'm sure they would have loved to have done something by now. You could tell the supply chain, we got all those ships in the port somewhere. They're landlocked. I have no idea what's going on, but I just know that it's tough to get stuff done. But at the same time, don't come at me 3 or 4 months from now with last year's flagship specs and hit me with a $12.99 price tag or an $11.99 price tag. And I worry that they figure, well, governments and big business are able to afford it. They're going to write it off anyway. The employees they're not passing that price on to the employees, so what do they care? That'll be the price they feel like they could get away with to recoup their research and development, because it's the first device they're making. To recoup their initial R&D investment, they might have to charge X premium in order to make it work. Not a big company, again, not like a Microsoft where they could just write it off. So I just hope that either they discount the price or they say, wait a minute, we're going to wait another few months. We promise it's coming out, but we're going to give you next year's specs. So at least when you're buying a flagship, you're getting the flagship specs from that year. It's going to last you all the much longer, and you don't feel so bad as a BlackBerry enthusiast paying up. Because if they give us the flagship specs, you can say, well, okay, we do put a premium on security. We do put a premium on the keyboard. We do put a premium on a special BlackBerry build, as long as they make it a robust device. So we're okay with it. But it's a much harder pill to swallow when you have something like a Surface Duo. You're still coming in at $1,500, but you're running stuff from a year ago, and you had a device that was kind of redesigned, much like possibly the BlackBerry from this year, next year, whenever it comes out. I do think they're in business, at least, okay? I do think they're still in business, so there's hope. Maybe, sort of. If they came out with something, and they announced it, and you had a whole lineup of other phones, S22 Ultra with the pen in the device. You have the Pixel 6s, which are mighty strong. iPhone, Xiaomi, OnePlus comes out with something in the spring, and then they throw a BlackBerry at you. Is it enough for you to pay up? Is it still going to be enough with better performers on the market if they're charging that $1,000 plus flagship? Or are you taking pause? It's been too long, you say, you know what, forget it. I'm going to pause and maybe go ahead and buy something else. It's a tough call. Let me know in the comment section below. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, maybe we'll have an announcement. You never know. Have that Steve-alicious day.